Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another episode of See Good Peoples. My name is Kelsey Coop Charles, and along with me, I have Antonio Long. As always, Long, how's it going today?
Bruh, it's a lovely day. Good to be back. Looking forward to today's show. Got some really, really good things coming up on this one, man. I'm enjoying getting better, so that's the positive by itself. But looking forward to getting back and getting us back on track. So let's go on and get into it. Feeling good about where we at. Keep it moving.
Okay, all right. Okay, all right. And then I'm gonna let you start it off with the community focus.
All right. So what we have this week for community focus is want to say congratulations to all our graduates, whether it be kindergarten, middle school, high school, and the greatness of college.
Right.
Make sure you enjoy yourself. You worked hard to get to this point. Another step in your future, in your maturation, as being a young sister or a young brother in the neighborhood. Biggest thing I can say, invest in your future. Don't settle for anything. Expect what you want out of life. Expect what you want out of life. Go get it. Do what you got to do to get it. But you gotta have some hopes. You gotta have some dreams, and you gotta do whatever to work toward it.
And I'm gonna interject right quick because I think society is moving in a different direction from where we came up. Just remember, it's a process. You didn't get here overnight. It's a process. Plan your work and work your plan. You know, you may not see your results right then and there, but if you stay the course, I promise you, it will come to fruition.
Yes, it will. Yes, it will. And you know, when I say expect what you want, you got to understand where you want to be in the next 5, 10 years. You can't look at where you're going to be tomorrow. Nothing comes easy. If it comes easy, it ain't worth having. Tell you that right now.
And your journey is not the next person's journey. So never mind if your peers are moving on, doing great things. Your timing is your time.
That's right. That's right. All right. And the other community focus, I got this on Sunday. My niece, I know y'all probably say, oh, my niece is doing something, but one of the things we encourage in the family and in the community is if you got a dream and you want to achieve it, go for it. Even if you fail, just make the attempt. You can't do nothing if you don't never try. So the biggest thing about getting into different businesses, one, it gives ownership and give you pride for doing it for yourself. The other thing is don't be dependent on anyone else to provide you with a service if you have the ability and have the cognitive skills to provide that service for yourself. So we definitely, one of the reasons why we do community focus is we highlight the folks that are doing this in the communities. And one of the things is because of the fact we want you to understand that there's options out there for you, not just looking for a certain aspect, but we all have, sometimes you don't know because a lot of times it's word of mouth. A lot of times, you know, advertising costs. Reason why we do it the way we do it is because of the fact we reach folks, but we also doing it because we want to make sure that we strengthen these folks so that they'll continue to do what they're doing, not only just now, but for years to come. So
exactly.
What we have is Bare Aesthetics, and that's done by my niece, Trian Alexis. She's on Facebook. If you want to book her, what she provides is waxing services, offering full and half leg waxing, Brazilian wax, underarm wax, bikini wax, and arm wax. Now, for those of you that may not be into waxing, I will say, you know, it is by your choice or whatever, but we give you every option available. Now, if you like smooth and clean, waxing may be your way to go. If you can't deal with waxing, you know, you might have to do shaving or whatever, but this is an opportunity. Get yourself nice. It's almost summer. You want to be out there in your sundresses looking lovely? Hey, by all means, find you someone that is able to take care of your needs. You don't want to be out there and you looking like Bigfoot in a sundress.
I'm not saying a word. All right.
All right, let's get into it. This week, oh boy, we got a good one. And this came out of our past discussion from last week's show. What is the greatest album of all time? Which we kind of gave a very good argument for Songs in the Key of Life being one of those. But we said we're going to take an in-depth look at a few other albums that were on the list. And I got to truly say, I think this one here is going to be a very good conversation because this album has everything.
Yes. And before we get started on it, at the 41st Annual Grammy Awards, this particular album earned 10 nominations, took on 5 Grammys.
It was truly true. And I believe they missed one because they listed it as an R&B album of the year, but actually it should have won R&B, hip hop, and pop album of the year. It did win the overall album of the year, but it should have picked up everything in every genre that was nominated that night, and that's what it should have taken.
Of course.
And what we're talking about is the Miseducation of Lauryn Hill. I will start off by saying perhaps the most significant album of the new century.
And I think here again, like with Stevie Wonder's album, have there been better albums made? Possibly. Before the time, for what it meant to a culture during that time. And you got to think of the music that was out during that time too. And we talked about most of the groups that were out. You had Jodeci. Male groups were dominating at the time. They were kind of on the back end, but you still had a lot of them. You still had Silk. You still had Jodeci, Boys and Men. Jagged Edge was coming in on the scene. Yeah, I think they were dropping their second or maybe third album. Maybe
they were on their second album. They was on their
somewhere around that time. And then you had so many artists out. I mean, 90s was truly a time where you had quite a bit of artists, even if they were only one-hit wonders, everybody was bringing it. Brownstone, SWV, Escape. You had so many different artists. And then you had the, I guess, the culmination of the Fugees, right? Wyclef, and then you had Sister Act, which Lauryn got her, I guess, I'm not going to say acting debut, but that's when she really came into, become a household name.
That's when everybody, I think, saw her.
Right. And then you could tell something was special when she started singing. I think Joyful, I think it was. You knew something was there. But when she dropped this album, I mean, even when she was working with the Fugees, you knew. You just knew. Well, certain artists, I mean, when they're with the group, you know. You like, and I'm gonna tell my age a little bit more here. When you listen to leaders of the new school, even though they were trying to push Charlie Brown, you knew Buster was going to be there. Buster was going to be that guy.
Most definitely.
You knew.
Well,
you knew.
Well, before we get into the album, let's talk about where the Fugees were at this time. And one of the things about the Fugees that came out, I want to say 94-ish. They came out with the first album in 94, which was the Vocab. And then that was your first time really hearing all three members together. Right. And one of the things that stood out on that was, if you go and listen to the Vocab, the lyricism of Lauryn Hill at that point had already piqued your interest to, where we going with this? Because she had that rhythm, she had that flow, and you was like, especially hearing it from a woman at that time, because this was during the time, the songs and everything was a little different, because this was after the beginning of Little Kim and after the beginning of Foxy Brown. That was more sexualized, more out front, in your face about the way they rapped about stuff. Gone were the days of MC Lyte and Queen Latifah at that point.
The hardcore purists. Yeah.
Right. Right. But when they came out with that, oh, okay, they're cool, they're cool. But see, they hit their success on their second album, which was The Score, which gave us many
numerous
hits. Many hits. Ready or Not, bruh, it takes me back to that summer back. I think that was 96 or 97, somewhere in there. And Ready or Not was a banger.
Yes, it was.
Ooh La 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 was a banger. Ooh La 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 and Ready or Not really showcased Lauryn's power, not only as a rapper, but also as her singing the hooks on those songs. And that's what took them to another level. And then actually bringing in when she did Killing Me Softly, that shut the game down.
Yes, pretty much. That is true. I forgot about that.
That's a classic.
That was in The Score. Yeah.
Yeah. But then when you really, and if you somebody that actually listened to The Score as a whole album, what really got me was if you go back and listen to Cowboy and listen to her and Rod Digger go back and forth. That is some of the best spitting by two females you ever want to hear, because they basically own that song at that point. And that's a song where Wyclef was pretty good on that. I'm never gonna say Pras was good on anything, because he's that Outcast member.
Nah, don't do Pras like that.
I'm gonna do him like that.
You're not gonna give him the You God treatment. No.
I'm gonna give him the You God because of the fact the only reason anybody knows Pras for anything is because of Ghetto Superstar, and we know it more because of ODB and Maya than we know about him.
Well,
I said it. Anybody want to dispute that? Inbox me later on. We can have that discussion. But I'm telling you right now, out of the three members of the Fugees, he was the least recognizable as far as his talents at that point.
Yeah.
Okay. So, all right. So when we get to this point, Fugees have blown up. They've been great together. They are a different level type group, but there was inner turmoil amongst the group because, again, I will say, you can call it the You God treatment or whatever. Pras thought he was more than what he was. Let's just be real about it. And while Wyclef is a great, great, great composer, songwriter, producer, and all of that, the true star of the Fugees was none other than Miss Lauryn Hill. So that caused a bit of friction, because one of the things I found out going back doing research for this here, if you go back and listen to some of their live performances, man, Lauryn killed every time, whether she's singing, but Lord, if she's spitting. And it actually made me go back and rethink. I might have to put Lauryn #1 on the female list, bro. And that's saying a lot, because you know how much I love Light. Light is my ultimate. But Lauryn is right there with Light, and that's saying a lot, because again, MC Light, pound for pound, you can't do nothing with her now.
I would still say Light, because I mean, when you think about it, she can, and it's probably the same argument that you would give to Andre for the reason why he couldn't take the top MC, because of that full body of work. Because even though the Miseducation of Lauryn Hill was a hip hop album, she did a lot of singing on that, a whole lot of singing. She spit, but she did a whole lot of singing too. And I would say it's probably about 60-40. A little bit more singing than rapping.
I would say it's 60-40. But the thing about this was, I think Lauryn ushered in a new way of looking at hip hop.
But that is true, yes.
Because it had the sounds. Lauryn had I would say Lauryn had the combination of, Lauryn could give you MC Light, and she could give you Mary J. Blige at the same time.
Yeah, I think the thing with Lauryn was, and we didn't understand or call it that at the time, but back then she was a vibe. I mean,
Yeah,
if you want to sum it up, she was a vibe of her in and of herself. You know,
yeah.
just Lauren. It was a thing with her.
Nobody
And
could
she was
really touch her.
no.
She had what we call in hip hop. She had that it factor where she had everything going for her that we look at. She could spit the lyrics, she could sing,
Mhm.
her style, her fashion sense, all of that
Yeah.
brought to the forefront and pushed her to the #1 status at that time. Because again, it was
Mhm.
the opposite of what was popular at the time. She wasn't
True.
like Foxy Brown, and she wasn't
No.
like Little Kim. You know,
True.
she was she was the
She made you
everyday
pay attention
man's.
to her. Yeah.
Yeah,
She made you pay attention to her ability and her talent. You know.
yeah. It wasn't about. I mean, Lauryn is a beautiful woman. Don't let me know. Let me not say that she's not. Lauryn is a beautiful woman, but
Mhm.
she didn't have to put herself out there the way that Kim did, the way that Foxy did, because of the fact the
Mhm.
way and that was their hook. That's what got you in. But you never. That's one of the things where we talk about how the greatness of Lauryn. You're
Mhm.
never going to sit there and say that Lil Kim and Foxy are some of the greatest female rappers of all time. You're never going to put them there.
Well, let me put it this way. I mean, the flow and everything was great, but would you pay more attention to the lyrics if they weren't dressed the way they were? Because I mean, don't get me wrong, Kim can go.
To a point. And I say, when I say to a point, I would be the first one to say, a lot of people think when Kim first came out, oh, this is it. But I'm gonna be honest, I gave Kim more respect when she did Money, Power, Respect and Quiet Storm with Mobb Deep. The bars that she spent on those songs was
Yeah,
way more impactful than anything she had did on her own or with Biggie or with Puffy or anything at that point.
but is that on her, or is that the business of hip hop at the time?
Well,
Because of the way she came out.
it was what it was what Biggie and Puffy wanted. Biggie,
Mhm.
they wanted her to be the sex symbol of rap. They wanted her to be like that. It's
So,
the same way like Yo-Yo. Cube never put
yeah.
Yo-Yo out there like that.
So let me ask this question. I guess, well, was her talent held back because of the way they wanted to bring her out? Because I mean, even on those songs she was on, don't get me wrong, I mean, she had flow, but like you said, on the Quiet Storm, she hung with the best of them.
Right,
She was able to.
right. She had it able to do that. Because if you think about it, those two songs had no sexuality inherited to them whatsoever. It was just straight. I'm doing spitting at this point. You know,
Right. So let me ask
that's
this
what,
question then, in a parallel, and we'll get back to Lauryn in a minute. Now, the way Kim came out versus the first time I really heard or paid attention to like a Nicki was on the Monster track, Kanye.
okay.
And I'm gonna go out on a limb and say she had one of the hardest. She had one of the hardest verses on there.
She had the hardest verse on Monster.
Yeah. So when she came out, was her level of respect different because of the way? I mean, she had been on 106 and Park things like that before, but when Monster hit, oh man, Nicki was a force.
I think the
So
thing about Nicki was uh you recognize Nicki had skills even
mhm,
before we got the Monster. Monster just solidified the fact that she could go
mhm,
hard, because I mean, if you actually think about Monster, you on a track with Rick Ross,
AZ,
Jay-Z, and Kanye, and a
mhm,
functioning Kanye at that. I'm
highly
not
functional.
saying a functioning Kanye. Uh,
Mhm.
you had to come hard, and she pretty much attacked that and took it for herself. But
Well, she
if
had the
in
last
the
verse for a
early
reason.
days, of Nicki, though, Nicki did everything like that. Because if
Yeah.
you go back to even with the stuff she did with Khaled early on, the stuff she did with Future early on,
Mhm.
Usher, Ludacris, all of that, yeah, she was sexualized, but she didn't have to speak and say, I hate to say nasty things, but she didn't use the type terms that other ladies were using at the time, because she didn't have to,
Yeah.
because she was a walking billboard for it.
Right.
You fell in love with Nicki Minaj because of the fact she could spit and she was fine. She didn't have to say, I look like this, I look like that. You already saw that.
Right.
You know, and that's what set her apart, and that's what still sets her apart to this day. Because I'll say this here. Listen at her and ASAP Ferg, you know, that is Nicki spitting ridiculously, and you almost got to be like, you know what? Woo, woo, Monster is it. I ain't gonna take that from her. Monster is it.
So if Kim, I guess, would have been more selective, like you said, like she had taken on more of the Money, Power, Respect, on Quiet Storm, I guess, features.
Yeah. If she would have, now she probably wouldn't have been as big if she would have started out with those features.
Yeah.
Because what got everybody interested in Kim was the first few songs that she did, and then the album cover.
Yeah, true.
The album cover, because everybody had that poster. If you was black and you was young, you had that poster either in the dorm room, the bedroom, whatever. That poster was up. That is an iconic picture of Little Kim that can never be redone.
True. So I guess that circles back to Lauryn, because I guess with Lauryn, because she didn't come out like that, and the beginning was kind of the same, because she was a part of a group that had a so-called superstar, which was Wyclef. Then you had Kim coming in with not Lil C's, but Biggie.
Yeah.
You know.
Yep.
So I mean, it was the same, but I guess the content and the dress. I mean, there's everything about it. Similar but very different.
Yes.
Lauryn forced you to listen to her voice, and pay attention to her words. Whereas, even though we knew Kim could go, she could spit, she could hang with the best of them, it's just the content and the, I guess, the packaging,
right,
for lack of a better term,
right,
that held her back a little bit. I think I heard somebody saying the same thing about Ludacris. He'd never be considered one of the greatest rappers because all the over the top stuff he did. And the guy can flow. He can do whatever you mean, but you know, with the big hair, different area codes, he played around with it.
He played around because he knew he had the talent. That's the thing. I would never slight Luda on anything, because the thing about Luda was, he gave you visuals. He had the crazy videos and everything. Yeah. But Luda, at the end of it, Luda could spit. He's just like Busta. Him and Busta are similar. You know, Busta gave you visual. He gave you all of that. But put them in the booth, they eat you up. And the thing about, I would say the difference between Lauryn, Foxy, and Lil Kim was this. Lauryn was a triple threat. Lauryn could act, Lauryn could sing, Lauryn could rap. Ain't nobody else can touch that. The only person that I could truly say that is in that same vein,
the Queen.
Beyonce.
Well, I mean, in the hip hop community, the Queen, because the Queen do jazz, she rap.
Hey, Coop, you muted. There you go.
Can you hear me now?
I got you now.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Phone got muted. But I would say Queen, because like I said, she's acting. She does jazz, different level. And she also raps. She put a lot of people in the game, but you know, at a different level, even though they were out around the same time, it's just different. But let's get into this playlist on the album list.
Well, let's run down, you know, just what this album is. You know, this album came out in '98. It incorporated different genres of music at the time. It was the new neo soul movement, which had blew up at this point, where you had the advent of Geo Scott. You had music, Maxwell. You know, you had a lot of different groups coming out, a lot of different solo artists with the new neo soul. Badu was the beginning of it. I would say that. Badu was the beginning of it. So that's what led into it. But you also had on this album, you had R&B,
Yep,
reggae,
a lot of R&B
and hip hop.
Mm-hmm.
And hip hop. So that album encompassed every different genre that the community listens to.
Of our music, of course. Yeah.
You know, but the most significant thing that this album did, and yes, it did win 5 Grammys, should have won more, many American Music Awards, Soul Train Awards, all of that. But in actuality, the reason why we chose this as being as big as it is, it was the first hip hop album to win the Grammy for Album of the Year. And that knocked down the ceiling for all hip hop from that point, because that gave way to, okay, open the door for Outkast to win Album of the Year. Even when we went back and forth with this, Outkast won Album of the Year for Speaker Box and The Love Below, but in actuality, Aquemini should have won Album of the Year. Stankonia definitely should have won Album of the Year. You know, so, but it opened the door. So it made the people in the Recording Academy actually give hip hop. I don't want to say it put hip hop on the same level as everything else, but it brought hip hop to the attention of the masses.
It was here to stay.
Right. It wasn't the fad that everybody thought it was going to be back in the 70s and 80s. It kicked in the door and said, we here and we here to stay. And now, if you actually think about it, hip hop is probably the most influential genre of music in the world today. Nothing else comes close. Do you hear rock anywhere?
Let's go look for it.
Realistically, you don't hear rock. I don't.
No.
You know, you hear pop, but you don't hear rock. Rock is dead. Heavy metal. Heavy metal is dead.
You gotta go look for it. You gotta go look for it. It's dead. You just gotta look for it. Yeah.
But remember when we were young, during this time, that's all MTV played.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, when MTV used to play.
Every once in a while, Big DM would play it too, because they played some Van Halen jump in the morning time. Hey, you would listen to it. You would hear it. But I think now, since you have access to so much, I'm not even gonna say the best of the best, the most diverse stuff does get out there. But just like we had this conversation on R&B, you know, a lot of people saying R&B is dead. R&B is alive and well, but you just got to go find good R&B. It's there. You just got to find it. I mean, it's I would say rock is there, but it's not like it used to be. It's not. We're not being, like you said, spoon fed and inundated with like we used to be, like on MTV in the morning times. You know, you had AM, you know, wake up and all that stuff.
Right.
You know, it's not there like it used to be.
No.
I mean, with the advent of YouTube and all that other streaming services, you know, it's just, and whatever your algorithm is on your timeline, that's what you're gonna get flooded with.
Right.
You know? But
you look at it again, like I say, the Miseducation of Lauryn Hill was the turning point for our music at this point, because
let's talk about that title for a second, though. The Miseducation of Lauryn Hill. What do you think the meaning was behind that title?
I think during this time there were things that you saw from a personal standpoint, and things that you knew from a societal standpoint. And everything was in conflict with each other, because Lauryn was in a special place at this point. She was a mega star, had opportunities to do more acting, more singing, more rapping. But you had internal strife with the Fugees itself. Because again, Wyclef is a great producer, great songwriter. Probably in his mind, he was the focal point of the Fugees. But in reality, it's not always like that. And there's nothing wrong with that. You know, it pushed him to where he is now. He still has a status point in the industry because of those things, but it came in conflict with what Lauryn wanted to do and how she wanted to go about things, and what she wanted to project out there from her own personal experiences, but also from what she saw was going on in society. Sometimes, you know, in the music industry, you want to sit there and you want to go through a blueprint of what somebody else is doing all the
time. Well, that's what the business dictates, though. The business kind of dictates that. So you got to have a compelling project, or you just got to not care and be able to pull it off. I mean, the proof's got to be in the pudding. You got to prove yourself prior to, or they got to see something to allow you to do what you do. And I think, for me, not to cut you off, but I think that's the reason why it's called the Miseducation of Lauryn Hill. You think you know me, but I'm everything. You know, you might try to put me in a box. You might try to say I'm hip hop, I'm this, I'm that, but I'm a little bit of everything, as you alluded to before. Gospel, R&B, I mean, a little bit of blues, and of course, your hip hop. Because you think about it, this is her debut album. She got Mary on there, and she got D'Angelo on there.
Right.
Two of the hottest artists at the time.
Correct. That's one of the things. I mean, first of all, for you to get on any song with Mary J. Blige in our community, that automatically puts you in rarefied air, because Queen just don't get on anybody's stuff. You know, she got to have some kind of feeling about you to work with you. That's always been her thing. And then plus the strength and power that Mary J has always displayed in all of her music, whether she was going through something or whether she was just finding out about herself. Mary has always displayed that and made herself to be the powerful woman that she is right now. That's why nobody really can touch her from a standpoint, you know, when she do that, you know, that's one of the things you can say about Mary. When she tries to put together a playlist that she gonna use at a concert, what you gonna take out? That's the thing about Mary. You got so much stuff that you got to sit there and be like,
whatever she feel like singing.
What's on your mind today? You know.
That's it. And what Monet Tejada wants, Monet Tejada gets.
Right. So, you know, it's like that. But with Lauryn, I think this was, well, we know this was a personal album just from when you listen to the songs. But then you look at it, it shaped, it provided a blueprint for other artists to come along 10, 15 years after her. You have to live up to try to make your music as good as this music was. And it's hard to do. Now, there's some out there that have come close to it, I will say. But it's hard to do, because to be that deeply personal, you giving yourself a lot. That's why I think now Lauryn has made other albums, but this album was a masterpiece.
Well, it's almost like she said, if I got one shot at this, I'm gonna give you everything I got, and I'm just gonna leave it at that. You know, if I only get one chance to do this, I'm gonna make my mark, and she did that.
But this is the thing, and I ask this as a question: do you think she put too much into this?
From a standpoint of an artist, knowing that, you know, she'd probably have to come back and do another album, yes. But from a fan standpoint, I don't think she did. I think she did what she was supposed to do. Now, when you got a catalog this strong, because I was listening to it again today, the first 5-6 songs, I mean, radio bangers. I mean, last 5-6 songs, radio bangers. In between, still good stuff.
Bruh, the whole album.
So I think, as a fan, this is what I would expect in an album. Kind of like the show The After Party at the Hotel. It took you on a journey, start to finish. Songs in the Key of Life, a journey, start to finish. This is one of those albums that takes you on a journey.
Okay, all right. So we look at it like this here, though. All right, you use Songs in the Key of Life, and you use the show, The Hotel, and the After Party. Okay, now granted, Jodeci couldn't replicate that after that.
Mm-hmm.
Stevie did replicate it. Steve is a different animal. We already know that. Because Hotter Than July and Part-Time Lover and all that later on in career,
Mm-hmm.
Steve is just Stevie. But looking at what Lauryn did on this, I know some people feel a type of way about Lauryn because we didn't get anything else from Lauryn. But when you give so much on your first, because I don't think nobody else has ever provided that on a solo first out the box. Even we hold Chaos in such high regard. But if you think about it, Chaos did not get to this point until he got the 12 play.
Well, I mean, if you look at it just strictly from a starting point, not knowing what the future holds, I would say that 12 play probably would have been, but you see what he came with after that. So I mean, it's kind of hard to say that's in the same category. Now, if Lauryn was able to come back after that, you know, think Kel's are different too. Because we know he's different. But, you know, I mean, I look at, if I had to compare Lauryn to someone else in this journey, I would probably say, and she got there a little bit earlier than this person did, I would kind of parallel her to Andre 3000. She found self-awareness after she went through whatever she went through with the Fugees, and she put it all in that one album. Andre, once he gave up a few things and he got with Erica and really started digging deeper and deeper into music as a whole, because I mean, you think about it, Lauryn is, like you said, so many different things in one, and that's where Andre was going. You look at the end of his career, that's where he was going. He can still rap you on the table wearing a skirt. Don't get it twisted. but I mean, he wanted to explore so many different things, and I think that's what she did on this one album, and it hit on so many different points.
So,
because you know, most albums they're strategic. They give you a certain theme and you go with it, but this one is everywhere, and it's everywhere in a good way.
Yes,
I'll put it that way.
Yes. So, looking at this comparison you just gave, you compared Lauryn to 3000. I think that is an excellent point because of the fact they are people that are led by their own
march to the beat of their own drum.
Yes. Nothing you know, everything that they do is to the beat of their own drums. The only people that truly understand them is their partners.
Because they're true creatives. Right. And when I say about true creatives, they might be here today, somewhere else tomorrow. You just never know.
Well, if you take it a step farther, you could put them in the lines of Thelonious Monk. Put them in the lines of Coltrane. You know, that they are so singularly good at what they do is that they on a different level that nobody else can get to. You know, even on their worst day, you know, they put you under the table because of the fact you can't get on their level of consciousness. That's what I want. Their level of consciousness is at a peak that most people will never see in their lifetime. They see. I often look at 3000 like this here. He sees the world through sound. He doesn't see it through his vision. It's whatever comes out of his vocabulary. That's how he sees the world, and that's why it ultimately makes him different than any other rapper that there is. Now, when you sit there and you put him in the context of is he the greatest? It depends on what you feel.
Well, I would say off the strength of he's what true hip hop is. He's a great storyteller.
Right.
Probably one of the best.
Right.
One of the best.
Right.
But the only knock against Andre 3000, the knock against him will always be he doesn't have that singular body of work to solidify himself as the top. He's gonna be my top. I mean, in my top. I mean, I don't care what they say. That's my guy.
I would say only because, excuse me, I look at it from the standpoint, he's done everything that the best rapper in the world has done. He's won album of the year. Kendrick has won album of the year.
As a duo, though.
Understand, but if you actually think about it, when they won album of the year, it was a double album. Half of it was Dre, half of it was Big Boy. Actually, that's his work.
10% was rap. Well, no, I said 10% because Big Boy was rapping on it.
Right.
He did one rap song at the end. That was it. And he let you know, I still got it.
I still got it. But then everything he's done, all of his features, Lil Wayne is the king of features. Would you not agree? Wayne is the king. Wayne has never spit anything as good as anything Dre has put out over the last 15 years.
You think about them, they're on the same song. They were on a couple of songs together.
Hollywood Divorce.
The Real Her. A lot of people don't realize that.
I mean,
leave your turf in the boys' estate. Can't see a play on the team, cuz. I mean, hey, he's been on I Do with Jay-Z and Young Jeezy.
You can't. Granted, he's never gonna have an album where it's nothing but Drake. Because honestly, it would be so weird and out there that unless you true Outkast fans, that's when you would actually get to it.
Even if you're a true Outkast fan, that man gonna have gospel, hardcore metal, R&B, jazz,
but it's never gonna be
everything on there.
It's never gonna be, but he don't need that. You know what I'm saying?
No.
You know, he is at that level where his ability puts him over the top. We already know. Okay, when we talking about greatest of all time, you automatically throw him up there. Yes, he's LL Cool J. Yes, he's Jay-Z. Yes, he's Biggie. Yes, he's Tupac. Yes, he's J. Cole. Yes, he is Kendrick Lamar. Same thing with Lauryn. Just like we said, because when I went back, like I was saying, when I was thinking about this here, because this was a favorite album of mine back in '98. But when I went back and thought about it, like, you know what? She on par with Light. And I hold Light in such high regard that I put Light up there with some of the greatest MCs, period.
Male or female.
Not just female, greatest MCs, period. Light and Lauryn is on par with Daddy Kane. You know what I'm saying? She's on par with Buster. You know, these are singular where you already know, man, you can't find no fault in none of the stuff that some of these people have done over the course of their music career. And you can't.
Well, I'll put it this way. I agree with you, but some people won't see it until later on. They might not see it at the time. Because I mean, I'm not gonna ATLians. I'm a diehard Outkast fan. But some of the songs on there, I didn't appreciate them until later on. Even when it came to The Love Below. I couldn't appreciate some of them until later on, but you go back and listen. The boy's genius.
Well, it's just okay. Well, bringing it back to Lauryn, let's look at it like this. This year marks 25 years since the Miseducation of Lauryn Hill came out. And in those 25 years, all right, remember something. Cardi B has won a Grammy for Best Rap Album. Megan Thee Stallion has won a Grammy for Best Rap Album. Okay. As great as those two are, and both of them have I will say. Now, I'll be the first one to say it. Cardi B, say what you want. Cardi B can rap. Cardi B is a monster. When she is serious about her craft, Cardi B is a monster. You might not like what you hear sometimes, but if you actually listen to how she put it together, she is a monster on the album. Any song that she's on, she kills it. She has, and she the best rapper in her family. I'll put it like that. And that's saying something because she married to a rapper. Okay. Cardi can go. Okay. Okay. All right. So now Megan is not, Megan on some of her freestyles can really, really go, but some of her songs, I don't put it together like that. But the reason why I say this is it is not, none of those are not on the same par with 25-year-old Miseducation of Lauryn Hill.
No, it's not. I guess the best way to put that is the times do change. I mean, when you listen to our era, when we grew up, everybody had a story to tell. There was something about it. You know, now most of your cats rap about Hercules, lean, if I'm gonna live, if I'm gonna die, this thing, that thing. Hip hop is not really storytelling anymore. I mean, I still appreciate the art, what it is, but it just wasn't what we grew up on. And you know, you have to, yeah. And speaking back to when, like I said just a few seconds ago, times change. You have to, I guess, be able to change and appreciate it. I mean, is it pushing the music, the industry forward? Yes, it is. But for me, I'm a nostalgic fella. So, I mean, if I had to choose between a Cardi B or a Lil Kim, they're about on the same par as far as content. I'm gonna go with Lil Kim. Not saying that Cardi can't, like you said, Cardi can go, but it's like Lil Kim took the loss so Cardi could win.
Yeah, I understand. I understand that piece. I understand that piece. And
So
it's
I mean,
just like where we are right now. Uh, when you look at content from a male standpoint, you already know what you're getting when you get J. Cole and Kendrick. Yeah. It's not gonna be the same as Lil Baby and Durk.
No.
Not gonna be the same.
It's not to say that Lil Baby and Durk aren't great in their own right, but it's just not. And I'm coming around to it because I mean, if you actually listen to Lil Durk last album, 7220, it was a good album.
Bruh, Durk,
Lil Baby last album. It was a good album.
I give Durk and Baby, they are, if they continue on the path that they're on right now, they're gonna find themselves in upper echelon because they're starting to talk about real things and less about money, cause, and stuff like that.
Yeah. And as you mature, you get there. I mean, that's the same reason why Andre stopped rapping. Because I mean, he got to be relevant. I mean, he just felt that he wasn't anymore. So I mean, even though the boy still got skills.
Look at that's got to be the craziest conundrum of all, is that he feel like he ain't relevant, and every rapper, every true rapper, and every true hip hop fan sit there and will tell you, bruh, it's hard to go against that fella, man.
Oh yeah,
hard to go against.
And you know, T.I. don't back down to nobody. He said it. Hey, he got him on his own. He got down on him on his own album,
bruh.
On his own song.
If you go back and listen to the features that's out there right now, bruh, he eat everybody up. Sometimes you gotta ask yourself, do I really want to put this fella on my album?
Yeah, it's an honor to get eaten up by 3,000 on your song. Right. Most people get mad about that, but if he comes through, hey, take it.
If you say, man, can I get him? Can I get 4, not 16? Can I get 4? Them won't be the hottest 4 you will be like, man, God dog.
He ain't gonna never do just photo. You think about 16 with Rick Ross. He took over the song.
I know.
You think about Sorry, T.I., he took over the song. Bruh. You think about No Cigar, he took over the song. I mean,
it is, but there are certain people in this world that you automatically, you know, when you are allowed, case in point, Jay-Z, when you allow certain people to be on your album, you already know. It's hard when you got, and especially when they in tune. That is why so many people got so excited when God Did came out. You got Ross, Wayne, and Jay. Jay just took it and just
made it his own.
You know, you can't allow. I mean, that's when you know, okay, y'all can say what you want about Jay, but from a rapping standpoint, bruh, yeah, he that dude, bro. He that dude. That's just like Eminem. People, you know, say, he this and that, he made this music, whatever. If you truly listen to Marshall Mathers, you can't help but say, bruh, that fella one of the best now. Because when he don't play, when he ain't playing around and he just spitting, ain't nobody on that level, man. Ain't nobody on that level. He can do stuff nobody else can do in that. That's just like Snoop. When Snoop ain't on, you know, just trying to be Snoop, and he go back to being Snoop Doggy Dogg. Because I was listening the other day, you know, and you know, we're gonna have to do this one here too, because I think we did back and forth about, you know, what's the greatest beat, you know, ever produced. That's a show unto itself. But honestly, I listened to the Shiznit the other day, and I was like, man, God, dog, the combination of Snoop just going off and Dre just doing what Dre does, man. I mean, you know, it's some people you have to just say, you know what? And I honestly say the Shiznit might be the greatest beat Dre ever made. And that's saying a lot.
For me, I'll say Stranded on Death Row. I love that song, man.
But it's hard because everybody was able to get on it and spit.
Yeah.
But if you think about it, it was a lot.
You listen to that, man, them jail bars closer, that cell door closer, and you making a beat out of that, man. I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you.
But again,
actually, the best beat on that the Chronic album was the one when they did a little skit. I forgot.
Which one? These Nuts?
No,
the $25 pyramid.
Right before then, with the flute.
Yeah.
And the guitar. Hey man, that to me, I like old stuff. Then again, I don't know though, man.
Well, you gotta think about it. The other one I would say would be Disco Inferno.
Well, yeah.
You know.
Yeah, but then you got Little Ghetto Boy too. I like that beat.
Little Ghetto Boy is a masterpiece too.
That was a great
Steel Dre. I mean, you got to think about it. Steel Dre and the next episode, but then you break it down. You know, explosive.
Yeah, and then you also got the grand finale too.
Right.
Y'all forget about the DOC. Y'all forget about the DOC. But actually, the best beat ever made. I'm tell y'all right now. There's two. There's two beats that I would say the best ever made, and I'm gonna call it hip hop, even though it's before hip hop, and then we're gonna get back into Lauryn Hill. Computer Love and Juicy Fruit. There you go. I rest my case.
No lies told, bro. No lies
argue
told.
with me. Argue
no
with
lies told. Because I'm telling you right now, let them two come on right now. Everybody our age, we're gonna lose our mind. I ain't talking about Biggie. I ain't talking about Biggie Juicy. I'm talking about the truth.
The truth.
In the rain, falling down.
And if y'all young folk don't know what Computer Love is look at Menace to Society.
Yes, sir. Yes,
that's
sir.
Good.
I didn't had that experience, boy. That Computer Love is, you learn some things, boy. You learn some things. But see, that's another show.
And that's to let y'all know how long Dre was around. Because no, Dre didn't know. Yeah, Dre.
That was Roger.
That's Roger and Zeph. Yeah. That World Class Wrecking Crew. My fault. I'm thinking about Shirley Murdoch because Shirley Murdoch was on both of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was Roger, man. But Roger was the precursor to Dre. People don't realize that.
He was on the cusp of all that. Yeah.
That's right. Because Roger did a lot of production for Gap Band too.
Yeah.
So that's why I say it was the precursor. All right. But let's get into Lauryn Hill, the Miseducation. Again, simply put, a masterpiece from front to back. Started with great intro. Skit. They were, you know, call and roll in the classroom. Got the young Lauryn. Young Lauryn didn't answer her name in the roll call.
Nope. And it rolled right into.
We transitioned into Lost Ones.
Lost Ones. She went in the class to see the Lost One.
First song, first single released off the album. Hit us in the head from the start. And it truly if you listen to the song, it is all about the turmoil that was going on between the Fugees at this point, whether it was between her and Wyclef or her, Pras, Wyclef, all of them. It was what it was. Lost Ones has a poignant meaning
Mm-hmm.
She told him straight out, because the way y'all act,
Mm-hmm.
y'all done lost the best thing that didn't happen to y'all.
Mm-hmm.
And she was
Might have
not
won
shy
some,
about
but
it.
just lost one. Yep.
She was not shy about it. She let you know,
Mm-hmm.
y'all done lost the best thing that happened to y'all. You know?
Yep.
And to come out, and we knew what it was, because when we first heard the song, when it first came out, we was like, oh, she coming at him. You know?
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, yeah, she ain't playing from the start. She
Mm-hmm.
letting them know what's what.
Yeah.
You know, so that was the first single. We heard that, and then okay, what we gonna come with on the second single? And then we didn't know she was coming like this.
Mm-hmm.
You know, she hit them with X Factor and both.
My favorite song on the album.
I would probably say the love song of the '90s, right there.
Mm-hmm.
It told a story unto itself, and it was truly enlightening to hear how eloquently she put, you know, the fact that I got to leave you alone because you part of the problem.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yeah.
Now, most of you kids now, y'all hear it is the refrain and the chorus to Drake's song,
Mm-hmm.
but go back and listen to the X
The truth.
Factor, the
Yeah.
true form, because this is now it's rumored to be about relationship she lost between her and Wyclef. Nobody's never confirmed that or whatsoever. But if you
But it
actually
gave us good content though. It made it a great song. Whether it was whoever heard her, whoever she's talking about, it was a great song. I'll put it that way.
Well, if you listen to the song, it truly is probably about Wyclef, you know.
Yeah.
Because they, you know, they have been tight for a long time, you know. You know, again, 2 albums in, you know. I think if you actually think about it, he might have wrote Someone Called 911 because of that. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. True. That is true.
Yeah. So she hit us with that, and then the video for that was so necessary. I put it like that. The all white was on point,
Mm-hmm.
especially on that beautiful black skin. You know, it just really hit home, and the lighting on that. That probably was a Hype Williams video. I didn't even pay attention who did it, but just from the color standpoint of how it all blended, it probably got hype all over it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, makes sense. He was the guy at the time. So yeah.
Yeah, you know, just see it like that. So again, Lauren's telling the story. So she fell out with the homeboys. She fell out with the love, whoever it may be.
Mm-hmm.
Then what comes up the next is number 3 and first. Well, really beautiful song. You get Carlos Santana to play on it. That by itself already was great. Because for those of you that don't know, Carlos Santana is one of the greatest guitar players of all time. And for him to grace you on your first album, you get Santana, that's a big win for you. That means that this is another artist that he really, truly got to understand and love what you're doing, because he don't just get with anybody.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So she did that, but it was a tribute to her son Zion because of the fact, you know, people in the industry, people that might have been in the Fugees, people that might have been in her family, trying to tell her, you know, you a big star now. You know, you don't need baby come along, derail the train while it was going. And she really went through a conundrum of whether she should keep the baby or get rid of the baby. What is it going to do for her career? What is it? You know, because everything was coming to her at this point.
Yeah. Which I think is unfair for female artists. Guys can do it, but I mean, hey, if you want to start a family, I understand what it could do to your career, but at the same time, you know, that's your choice.
Well,
you know, I don't think the machine should stop completely, because yeah, it'll be harder, but I mean, if you got the right support system, it can be done. People do it all the time.
And you got to look at this here. The person that she was with wasn't just some run-of-the-mill person. You know what I'm saying? You that's royalty that she was with. You know,
course.
And with that came with a blessing from the family as well, because of the fact, okay, ever since that union has happened, yes, you had multiple children came from that union, but you also have beautiful music that has came from that union as well, because her version of Turn the Lights Down Low with the late great Bob Marley, classic. You know, she's done other songs that the Marleys have done. And the thing is, when you think about consciousness, it just fits that that would have been the person that she would have been with, one of Bob Marley's kids. You know, it fits from a consciousness standpoint, because now I'll be the first one to say, when I was younger, every Sunday we would come home from church, I had listened to 8-track of Bob Marley and the Wailers, and I hated it. Hated it.
Just didn't know. Just didn't know.
Hated it but this was when I was 8, 9, 10, 11 years old. Now, please, understanding the relevance of what Bob Marley is, understanding what all of those songs meant during that time, and then understanding, you know, when you're young, you don't know who Bob Marley and the Wailers are. You don't know who Jimmy Clifton is, you know.
No.
But once
then when you listen to his journey too, and you understand his journey, those songs take on a whole different life. I mean, like you just said, I mean, when you actually go back and understand his story, get some understanding of who he was and how he came to be, yeah, it's very significant. Very.
One thing is always true, and this is tie up this here. One thing about when you listen to Bob Marley, no matter what kind of mood you in, you feel different when you after you done listen to it.
Oh yeah.
It automatically just wipes whatever you got on your mind. It just takes it away, you know. And basically that's what this album did.
Yeah.
Because from a personal standpoint, this was 98. 98, 99. I was going through something. I was going through my first divorce. Dealing with a fool. And all of these songs hit home at the time, because it was what you had to deal with, you know. And more so, it felt better because, okay, it was the opposite of what we were listening to from a male perspective. Kels was half on a baby and 12 play and what I can't sleep, baby, you know, stuff like that. And Arm was really, really talking to your consciousness. But again, To Zion is a beautiful tribute to her son, the joy of her world. It begins in Zion. It changed her life.
Yeah.
And it gave us this beautiful song. Because really, I would probably say it's an inspirational, but at the same time, it's a beautiful, beautiful song that kind of takes you somewhere. But again, the vocals played along with Santana on guitar. It had that's that fire you put together. You're like, ooh, okay.
Exactly. Yeah.
But then young Lauryn comes with her. Now, she didn't release To Zion. You had to get the album to hear To Zion. So her next single that was released off the album was a little harmonizing sound from back in the Motown era. And she even started the song out like that to make you understand, you know, I'm gonna throw it back to, you know, when we had groups and everybody, you know, sung and harmonized and doo-wop, and it was doo-wop that thing. The video what made it good, because she made half of it like the present, half of it like in the 60s. Beautiful combination, and it went off. It was a combination of rap and hip-hop together.
Yeah. And like you said, when it came to doo-wop was your voice was the music. I mean, your voice was the instrument. And she showed her range, her versatility. Yeah, I can rap you under the table, but I can also do this. I can be sensitive, like you said, with Zion, but then here are my roots. This is where I cut my teeth. You know, because everybody grew up on that. I mean, doo-wop.
Right. Most definitely. Now, back in the day when it was cassettes, the first side was the first 6 songs. The second side was the last 8. But looking at 9, excuse me. But when you got to 6 and 7, which is Final Hour, and When It Hurts So Bad, well, take it back. It was Superstar at 5 and Final Hour at 6. I would truly say that was nothing but straight spitting. Both of it.
Yeah.
Lauryn flexed, let you know, yeah, y'all, y'all think all I do is sing hooks and everything like that. Now I'm gonna let y'all know I can spit. And she showed her behind on both of them. And where I wrote it up in my notes was it was just straight hip hop.
Yeah.
Just
she truly loved that's one of her loves. I mean, like you said, she's eclectic. I mean, it's a combination of a lot of things. She's just showing you her range.
And really, it wasn't, both of those songs really didn't have a hook. It was just her just spitting balls, you know. So that, for true hip hop heads, I'm like, oh, okay, because the first 4 songs was really, well, 3 of the first 4. Lost One was hip hop, but the next 3 was singing, R&B, doo-wop, all of that. Then she hit us with that, and we were like, oh, okay. So we see where we at this point. We just halfway in again.
Yep.
Album with no skips. Album with no skips. So if you had a cassette, you flipped it over, and she hit us with When It Hurts So Bad. And the reason why this was so good, it gave you that nice, almost reggae feel. But it's talking about relationships and how you loving hard and not getting anything for your efforts.
Yeah.
And that was speaking to, at the time, if younger folks, y'all didn't understand about this because, y'all don't talk about love and nothing like that. But for us, this hit home. I didn't put a whole lot of, basically what she said in these songs is I didn't put a whole lot of effort in on all of this here. I ain't giving what I supposed to be getting. And I love you, but I gotta let you go. And yeah, it's gonna hurt, but I can't keep living like this.
It's gonna hurt more if I stay.
That's right. And then she hit us with If It Hurts So Bad. Then she come back, I used to love him. Woo! I used to love him.
Yeah, who was on there with her?
Who was on I Used to Love Him?
That's Mary. That's Mary.
Oh yeah, Mary is on there. Yeah.
Mary.
So again, the combination.
Yeah.
The queen of expressing your feelings in a relationship. Not gonna cry. This is, and this is the same time, not gonna cry. Not gonna cry.
I was your lover and your secretary.
Yeah, boy. And that
every day of the week.
Boy. Now that right there brought a lot of men to their knees on that one, boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you know what? It used to be before that came out, women would show their emotions. After that came out, women stopped showing their emotions. They just got mad, bro. And that was not where you wanted to be.
No.
They'll cry when you ain't around. But when you around, there ain't nothing you can do about it.
Yeah. For sure.
So Lauryn did it. Lauryn gave us that with Mary. And then she hit us with a reggae gospel feel, man. Forgive them, Father.
Yeah.
So again, taking us to another reggae song, but with a religious tone and feel to it.
It's Marley imprint.
Basically, the biggest thing was she's speaking on how people can be harmful to you. But she's telling you, forgive them, Father, for they know not what they do.
That's the Marley imprint.
That is the Marley way. I'm not sure if you kind of think about it, you don't know if Stephen or Ziggy had some kind of influence on that.
You cannot be. You can't be tied up in the family and not be influenced in some way, some form. I mean,
well,
just the musicality.
I mean, really, if you think about it, Rohan is the only one that don't do music.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's very successful with his artwork, and he's very successful with his fashion, but he is the only one that really does not do music out of the whole family. You know,
that we know of.
But he's never put out an album. I'll put it like that.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. All the rest of them have. You know, whether you're part of the Melody Makers with Ziggy, or if you Steven, or if you Junior, all of them. You know, Damien. It's so many you just keep naming. Good Lord, you know, talented family. And then after Lauryn finished that, she comes and hit us with Every Ghetto, Every City. Talking about her life growing up. Growing up as part of growing up in New Jersey and understanding, you know, just everything looked the same, but basically every city, every ghetto got his own story.
Yeah.
You know, got his own story. You know, you have to remember Lauryn family comes from Haitian refugees, what they've been through, and I would be the first one to say Haitian folks probably have been one of the most oppressed peoples in the world. If you think about it, if you've ever been to Haiti, or you ever been to what they call the old Hispaniola island, you have to understand there is a hatred on that island. One half of that island is Haitian, one half of that island is Dominican. They can't stand each other, and they on the same island. That's how bad it is. Dominican Republic is a thriving, now it's not rich, but it's a thriving, you know, dichotomy, because everybody goes there to vacation and do whatever they want to do. For baseball, it is the pipeline to the major leagues. But if you go, I think it's 300 miles to the west of the island, you really see what true poverty is about in Haiti. There's some cruises that go to Haiti, but honestly, Haiti is one of the poorest places on earth. And it's reflected in it. They have tremendous corruption in the government. You know, it's just a bad place, you know.
It's a hotbed for any type of natural disaster.
True. And it doesn't recover. Anytime a hurricane comes through down there, Haiti suffers, because they're going to make sure that Dominican gets back up and running as quickly as possible. You're going to make sure that Puerto Rico gets up and running as quickly as possible. And that's mainly because of the fact those are your tourist destinations. Haiti, again, Haiti's on the same island with the Dominican, but it is vastly different in how each country is ran. And you see it very, very quickly. When you go to Haiti, you realize it. And then also Haiti still has a lot of things that I guess you would say dark ages.
Third world, yeah.
Basically. Voodoo is prevalent in Haiti.
Voodoo is real.
And voodoo is real. Is real. You can sit there and say, oh, they ain't nothing but some mumbo jumbo. Okay. All right. Play with it.
Exactly. I'm gonna take my chances elsewhere.
Yes. So after that, you know, she's hit you with gospel, she's hit you with straight hip-hop, she's hit you with R&B, she's hit you with, what would you call Santana? How would you characterize? Because I don't want to put it as rock, because I don't think that's what it is. And I don't want to minimize it and put it as Latino music, because it's not. I don't know how the best.
I would say pop, but I mean, that's a bigger picture. I don't know how you would narrow it down.
No, that's the hard part about that one, because you just don't know. But then she gets with the greatest at the time, I would say the most prominent neo soul singer of his time. Because when he hit the ground, he destroyed things when he came out.
Yeah.
She got with D'Angelo and did Nothing Even Matters, and even to this day. Now this is another song that wasn't released as a single, but it is probably the most remembered and probably most replayed song off this album. Just because of the fact it gave you true. This was the floodgates for neo soul at this point.
Yeah, and you got to also realize too. We're talking about D'Angelo. He was instrumental in putting together, I guess, our generation's version of "We Are the World" with Black Men United. You will know that was D'Angelo.
That was
that shows you the greatness of D'Angelo.
And the thing about it is, D'Angelo didn't even sing on that single.
He did not.
He just played.
Yeah.
But it also opened him up because it got him.
He hadn't come out yet when that song came out.
No, he
came out after that.
He came out after it came out. But I mean, that was a song that even to this day, when you listen at it, the powerful voices that was on that song. It really was a who's who. It's hard to realize, but Boys II Men was part of that. Boys II Men didn't have any vocals on it.
At the end, they did a little run at the end. I think Sean did at the end, but that was it.
Yeah, I mean, you got the biggest groups of the '90s on that song, and you didn't have Jodeci. Jodeci was on the song. Jodeci didn't sing. I mean, they was part of the choir, but Jodeci, there was no Casey, there was no JoJo. They was just part of that. That says a whole lot right there. Now granted, you had the supreme singer of Mr. Gerald Levert. I mean, he just the spitting image of his father. But you had Tony, which was, it wasn't nobody bigger than them at that point.
You got to give a shout out to the one that let it off, though, Tevin Campbell.
Oh, come on! I mean, Tevin is a beast, man. Even now, you got to give Tevin his, the impact that Tevin Campbell had on R&B. I mean, 40 years, 30 years after the fact, from being a little 12-year-old kid to where he is now. I mean, Tevin is just, he's a beast, man. But we knew it from the first time we heard him, Again, Quincy Jones, you know what I'm saying? Anytime somebody, iconic folks get with iconic folks, man, that's what happened.
They can see it. They can see the greatness. They can see it.
Right. And you put that kind of, you think about it, Tevin was under the tutelage of two of the greatest people of all time, which was Quincy Jones and Prince. Come on, man.
Yeah. You can't beat that.
Come on, man.
You can't. Yeah.
You was not gonna fail.
No. At all. But yeah, we're getting with D'Angelo, man. I'm telling you, man. That's just with what he was, like you said, back in that time, and her doing that duet with him, and that's a straight up R&B love song, man.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is, and it to this day, man. Like I say, you can't. All your holidays gonna play Nothing Even Matters.
Yeah,
that
shows you the reigns of Lauryn, though. She did it all on that album. That's why it's kind of hard to call this a hip hop album. It's everything.
Well, like we said, it kicked down the doors of everything at that point because it opened. It showed people that hip hop was more than rap. Hip hop was all encompassing, and which is what it is anyway. Hip hop is not just spitting lyrics all the time. Hip hop is all encompassing, and it made you sit up and take notice of, oh, okay, it's more to this hip hop thing than just somebody spitting bars over a beat.
Yeah, it pulls from everything. It pulls from jazz, blues. I mean, it pulls from out everything that we started. You know,
You know,
the delivery is different, but the music, I mean, is soulful, impactful. It's powerful.
correct. You know, and for the neo soul movement at that point, because it was so brand new, because this came out before we had the influence. All you had at this point for neo soul was early Badu and
Hmm.
D'Angelo. This is
Hmm.
before we get Maxwell, before we get music, before we get Jill. This led us to the point where, okay, neo soul gonna be something we're gonna have to deal with.
Hmm.
Old R&B at this point is dying out. Neo soul is taking over.
And neo soul, I would say neo soul was out there, but it wasn't brought to the forefront. You know, it was kind of like a back room type thing. I mean, you know, areas like Philly and places like that, yeah, they already knew it, but the man when it was brought to the mainstream, I guess where we could hear it, yeah, that was very contagious.
I think it was more because neo soul actually is more live music, more instrumental playing than regular R&B was.
Yeah.
That's what made it different, because during this time, you know, you had R&B, but you had a DJ. You know what I'm saying? Nobody
Yeah.
had a band on there
It
with
was
you.
it was a throwback. I would almost say Mint Condition was neo soul too. I mean, to a certain extent, you know, when they first came out. You know, I
Well,
mean, they really didn't fit. I mean, they're R&B, but you know,
the thing about it, would you put them and Tony in the same?
mm-mm, mm-mm. I'll put them in two different categories, two
Would you
different
say
spectrums of R&B.
Tony had more of a hip hop feel?
I would say so. Yes, Little Walter, No Loop, you
The
know, stuff
blues.
like that. Yeah, the blues. Yeah,
Blues is to me, I think now, you know, Slow Wine is one of my favorite slow songs, but the
yeah,
blues is one of the best bangers if you
yeah,
just listen to it. You know,
yeah.
something about Sadiq, Bo. Something about Sadiq. I'm
Mm-hmm.
Dwayne is great.
Yeah.
Dwayne is great, but it's something about Sadiq, Bo.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right, getting back to what's called. So then what we have is she already hit us one time with Mary, but she come back with everything is everything.
After winter must come spring. Everything is everything.
Uh this was a perfect combination of R&B and hip hop, because this song had lyrics and it also
Mm-hmm.
had spitting. And
Mm-hmm.
what she was saying, everything is everything, what will be, what will be.
Mm-hmm.
After
It's
winter
gonna be what's
must come
gonna be.
spring.
Mm-hmm.
See, when you get them kind of lyrics like that, after winter must come spring, that letting you know at the end, there is an end season that comes, but
Mm-hmm.
after that end, there's a rebirth.
Yeah, change it comes eventually.
Change comes eventually. Now, if
Mm-hmm.
that there is almost on par with you know, with the Goodyear swing, bro. I'm telling you that.
Mm-hmm.
You know the Goodyear
Yeah.
swing take you someplace.
Yeah.
You know,
Well,
me
I'm
and you
thinking
know.
about I'm thinking about growing old. Souls that was off of moons eventually turn to scabs. Trees turn green. I messed it up, but you know what I'm going with it.
I know where you
And
go.
growing old. I mean, it is what it is.
That's right.
Change is coming. Change is
So
coming.
so that gives you an insight. Plus, that was the fourth song that was put out as a single. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
went to number one, did everything.
Mm-hmm.
But again, Lauryn was very prescriptive in what she put out for her singles and videos.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
they were the songs that she knew would get radio airplay
Uh-huh.
and would get it out there. But it wasn't, to me, I would say per se, they wasn't the greatest songs that was on this album.
No.
But she knew what she
No.
was doing. She knew how to handle it. She handled this project with greatness.
Yeah.
And then we get to
The
number
self-titled
13,
song. Mm-hmm.
self-titled Miseducation of Lauryn Hill. And I say it's a soliloquy, totally encompassing her thought process at the time, her struggles, her letting go of her spiritual self to create the masterpiece which is her own reconciliation with her feelings.
Like I said, you think you know me, but this is the real me. I'm all of this.
She took you on a magic carpet ride to let you know where she been, where she is, and where she plan on going. And what she had to deal with in each situation. And really, it is a beautiful ending song if that's how you was going to end your album. But not Young Lauryn.
She had a little bit more to tell.
She had a little bit more to say. But if that was if you took off the last two songs, which are bonus tracks, mind you, they're not listed as songs that are on the album. They are bonus tracks. If you stop at the Miseducation of Lauryn Hill, you're like, oh, what a great album. Oh, it's so wonderful. It is so great.
Yeah.
But she decided to do something just to let y'all know I got skills. This is one of them, this is pimp slap to the rest of the world. That's what I call it. A remake of Frankie Valli in the Four Seasons song. Can't take my eyes off
you. Good to be true. Yeah. Can't take my eyes off you.
And really, if you actually think about it, you would never listen to Frankie Valli sing this song another day in your life. Because Lauren's version is the version that you will hear.
Yeah.
I don't believe I heard it.
If you're a true audio music head, you go back and listen to see what the inspiration was. But you're right. And it's hard to do a remake, and everybody can't do a remake. But when you do it on this level, you can make remakes all day long.
Well, when you look at it, now, first people will say, where's Frankie Valli in the Four Seasons? You got to understand, this song went #1 back in the 50s, okay?
Yeah.
So for you to bring that song out, it is just, I put it equivalent to Boyz II Men doing Yesterday. You will never listen to Yesterday being sung by the Beatles again.
No.
You will never listen to Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons be sung again, because Lauren's version gives you up-tempo, hip-hop feel, but at the same time stays true to the original song.
Yeah, because that breakdown in there, when she does the doo-wop, I'm telling you, it's point on. But that just goes to show you her range too, and her love of music. Because not many people going to dig back into the 50s to pull this out and try to make it into a song.
Well,
that just shows you her love of what she does.
Well, you got to have a love of music to be able to understand music from all different generations. But that probably the influence of a parent, because it's just like us. You know what I'm saying? The reason why we so in love with music is because we had to listen to the whole range when we was coming along.
Because we had that 8-track stereo that looked like a piece of furniture in the living room.
Right.
And every time you get good into a song, you hear that track that change.
Yep.
You never get that back.
You got to wait till you go around again.
Exactly.
I tell my kids because they listen to what's now, and then I have to tell them, like, no, you need to listen to this. And when I put them on it, they're like, oh, I'm like, yeah, I'm trying to tell y'all. It's y'all think what y'all doing is new. Nah, bro. And
even when we had coming through. Some of it was, but a lot of it wasn't new when we were coming through.
No, but I think what it does is give them a better appreciation for where we were and where they are now, because they understand, it ain't the same no more.
No, not at all.
When we were growing up, we heard it all the time. We didn't understand why we were hearing certain things all the time. Now, you realize, how do you mend a broken heart? That right there, that's powerful. I didn't keep the rain from falling down. You can't get that no more, bro.
If I gave you my love, I tell you what I do.
Whoa.
I expect a whole lot of love out of you. Yeah.
Whoa.
That back and forth. Everybody know the one you can always talk to. Something's going on. What's going on now? someone's on the phone. What time is it? 3 o'clock in the morning. What are they talking about? Talking about. And you can make it right. Hey, love and happiness, man. I'm trying to tell you.
True songs.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I'm so tired of being alone.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you can't get a man to say that now. I'm you know, won't you help me, girl? Soon as
but I think back in the day, you had more storytellers. Everybody went through something, and they were able to translate their feelings into song. I mean, you take any group. I mean, it just so happens that the Temptations, Four Tops, groups like that, you know, we were exposed to a little bit more. But you take Manhattans, you know, Save the Last Dance. You can dance with the guy from something to get, but don't forget who's taking you home and in whose arms you're going to be. So, darling, say the last dance for me. You know, that said something. And then you got my all-time favorite. You know, the Spinners. It takes a fool to learn. The love don't love nobody. I'm trying to tell you.
But see, that says the dynamic right there. Men were unafraid to show emotion back then.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It was manly to say how you felt about someone. You know,
of course.
Nobody said, "Oh, that's weak," because you being like that. Nah, you telling the truth. You know, because again, just like we said on the last show, you don't truly know anything till you done been hurt. Until you have been hurt, that's when things start making sense to you.
Yeah.
When you get your heart broke, you a man when you get your heart broke. I just say that.
I put it like this. I think the one who was able to convey that the best was Teddy P. It don't hurt now. It used to be every night I would cry my heart out over you. I mean, but there's no more sleepless nights, no more heartaches, no more fight. Because all that is saying is I found someone to ease my pain and it don't hurt now. I'm telling you, it got so good he stopped singing. He had to talk about it.
Boy, let me tell you now, you know, for those of you 30 and younger, let me tell you something. Them songs like that right there, they tell a story. They tell you what you bet not do. Tell you what you need to do to make it right. And how you gonna get beyond this here? Because the thing about it was, you know, these were pillars of the culture back then. Teddy P was gospel. You know what I'm saying? The OJ was gospel. You know, you didn't know why.
No.
But
I think the teacher, Johnny Taylor.
Oh,
you can't care what I love, I fear. I believe in you, you believe in me. But the song that set it off, because there was a whole lot of stuff going on back in the day. But Johnny made you stop and think, who's making love to your old lady? Why you out making love?
Yes, sir.
I'm here. But who at my house?
That's right.
You think about that thing. Think about
it. Because look at it. You out here creeping. Somebody doing the same thing to you, bro. You know.
And he even told me who it was.
Right. Jody. That cat named
Jody got your girl and gone.
Oh, that cat named Jody was a bad fella now. Jody was a bad fella.
Of course.
You know.
Of course.
But to wrap up, Miss Lauryn, you know, she finished it up with beautiful gospel. It is, I would say, hip hop gospel, because it really ain't nothing but snare and bass.
That's it.
You know, you got a little bit of piano and a little bit of guitar in there, but really ain't nothing but snare and bass on this one. And it's Tell Him. And if you was going through something back in '98 when this came out, this was the one that hit you hardest than all of them, because of me. Again, I put myself in this. I was going through divorce at this time, dealing with bad marriage. Yo, this was my album. You know, I played this to death, you know, when this came along. You know, and again, it solidified my thoughts on just basically what a masterpiece is supposed to be.
I mean, it was a relatable album. It was a very relatable album.
Yeah, because it spoke to everything. I mean, because Lauryn is our age, that helps tremendously. But because of the fact, you respected her as an artist from day one. Uh,
She hit a little bit different. So I mean,
right. But you never, a lot of people, they talk about her now. If she having a show, she ain't gonna be on time. One of the things I'm gonna say about this here, when you reach that type of consciousness about your abilities, you can't rush the process. She got the
and
feet.
and the thing about it too, when she comes, it don't matter how long it takes, and it might be a small inconvenience, but the thing about it is when you lead that show, how do you feel? What does she give you? You already know what she's gonna sing because she's got a limited catalog here. I mean, she's got more songs, but you pay and you wait because you know it's gonna be an experience.
It's definitely gonna be an experience. And if you think about it, if you're a true hip hop head, Lauryn has songs with other artists in hip hop. Her and Common, that's really singing an old Stevie Wonder hook on Why Wouldn't You Stay? I mean, and she sang it. Oh my God, it tears your heart because you're like,
it hit different. Yeah, exactly.
If I Rule the World with Nas, I mean, that's one of Nas classics. You know what I'm saying? And she hit she was with Method Man, on We Got So Much Things to Say the Word. We got so much things to save it. Come on, man. You iconic. Them three icons. Common is an icon. Okay. Nas, I mean, depending on who you talk to, Nas might be your top 5. Nas might be your top 2. Depending on who
top 3 for sure. He's my top 3 for sure.
And then Method Man, I mean, anybody that love Wu-Tang will tell you he either is listed as number 1 or number 2 of your favorites from the Wu-Tang Clan.
Right after You God.
Shut the hell up. Never
right after You God.
And you know what? We're doing the 36 Chambers on the next show, okay? I'm just gonna let you know right there, right then and right there.
We're gonna put some stipulations on it. You can't mess with You God. Leave You God out of it.
Bruh. You God just had the equipment, man. That's all it was. Come on, man. But, somebody got to convince me that You God is.
Nah, we got to do a deep dive on it. You God was more than that, man. Don't do You God like that.
He number 11, man. He number 11. out of all the Wu-Tang, he number 11, man. You can't get me off that. I'm sorry.
I'm gonna change your mind. I'm gonna make you believe.
He number 11, man. He cannot.
Nah, I'm gonna change your mind, man. We're gonna change your mind.
If ever,
but my final thought on Lauryn, we're not gonna talk about You God. Man. I'm gonna change the subject. We'll talk about it when we get there.
Because that you can't get me started on You God. That's about like DJ Yellow, man. Come on, man. Come on.
Yeah. But I think to answer your question and put a bow on my perspective of the Miseducation of Lauryn Hill, I think she just had something in her in this album that she had to get out. And with what she had to get out, it gave us a really beautiful experience. You can't really put this album in a box, even though they put it in the hip hop category. You really can't put this album in a box. And I think that's why they did it, because they really didn't know where to put it. Didn't know how to put it. I mean, she could have gone probably 20 nominations, 10 more in R&B.
Yeah.
So
for sure.
I just think that we were blessed to be, I guess, entertained by a true creative. She refused to be put in a box. Therefore, I think, in my opinion, that's the title of the album, The Miseducation of Lauryn Hill, because you try to put boundaries on me, but I'm not in any category. Yes, I can do this. Yes, I could do that. But it has to come to me when it comes to me, and I'll give it to you as I get it. I mean, type deal. So, I mean, if you look at the track, if you look at the track list, and you look at the songs, like you said, you go from Lost One, she's spitting, uh, Superstar Final Hour, she's spitting, to X Factor, to Can't Take My Eyes Off You. Just shows her range, and really, that range just gave us a beautiful album. I mean, that's all pretty much I have to say about it. I mean, it was just a beautiful album, and I think we were just blessed to be able to experience it.
Yeah. And like I said, in the beginning, when we talked about this, it was necessary from a cultural standpoint because of the fact it solidified hip hop status as being a genre that was not a fad. It solidified hip hop as being not going anywhere, going to always be here, and really opened the door for what it is today. Hip hop cannot be characterized as one thing.
It is not.
Which is not. It is a movement. It truly is a culture unto itself, and it has different genres and subgenres that encompass to make it what it is. You know, the thing about Lauryn, I can truly say that it's a complete work. It's a complete work in the point of that it can't be duplicated by her because of the fact she don't have the struggle no more. The reason why this came about as a complete work is everything that she had been through. Once she released all of this onto this album, it cleansed her. Her spirituality elevated and put her in a different atmosphere at that point. Can't sit here and say that she can't redo it, because she can, because she got the talent to do it. There's no need. You don't have anything to prove. You know, it comes a point in time when you look at your greatness and you realize, I ain't got nothing to prove. This right here says everything I need to say about me.
But if you truly love what you do, though, I mean, if you think about it, I mean, it could be a case like Frankie Beverly and Maze. Frankie came out, what, once every 50 years? But, I mean, when he came out, he was right. Hey, you look at Maxwell. Maxwell would go on a hiatus for a while, but when he come back, hey, he got some stuff.
Well,
and I mean,
but
it could be the same thing along.
That's anybody though, Kelsey. I mean,
everybody can't do that though.
It's great. Well, when I say anybody, I'm looking at it from, you know, think about who you said. Frankie Beverly and Maze. Frankie Beverly and Maze ain't got to make no new music.
No.
You know?
No.
All you got to do is come out and sing Before I Let Go, Southern Girl, and Happy Feeling, and you can go home. And we had it.
Exactly.
We had
even with Maxwell. But he does do new music.
Right.
And it's good.
Oh, it's always going to be good. It's always going to be good.
But I mean, you know, I think Lauryn is at that point. I think she can just because of her creativity. But like you said, she doesn't have to. But I think she could duplicate this again. I definitely think she could do it again.
I think she could, but what is it going to be about? Because it's not going to be about her personal struggle, because she's not struggling.
No, but life though.
And when I say struggle, I'm not talking about from a finance. I'm talking about from all
mental.
the turmoil the turmoil that she went through. She's not at that point anymore. She's at a different point. She's 50. She's at a different look at life, different understanding of life. She's raised her kids.
But that's the thing, though, that she could speak on that. It's a different set of things that she's gone through.
Right.
And if she could paint that picture the way she did with this, that's another masterpiece. Because no, she's not struggling, but she has lived life. Because I think Muhammad Ali said it the best. If you're the same person at 50 that you were at 20, you waste 30 years of your life.
Right.
So she's grown.
Well,
and I think she's got some experiences that she can definitely put out there, and we feel the same. I guess we feel a sense of nostalgia, but on a new level, because we've grown just as she's grown, and some of the things she could talk about are probably still some of the things we could relate to. Just like you related to that first album, you could probably relate this last 25 years. to the next album she puts
Well,
out, just because of her growth.
The thing about it is she's having a 25th anniversary concert in August in New Jersey. I'm hoping that it sparks something in her to want to do. Same thing like we say about Dre. If you, all we want Dre to do is just give us one more, bro. Just one more. You know, I don't want no.
It has to be out. It'd be a Done Family EP. I don't care. Just put something.
I don't want features. I want. Give me one more, and let's make it like it's supposed to be. Give me you and Big Boy, Goody Mob, Rico, Sleepy, you know, Big Rude, all of them. You know, give me that. You know,
give me 3 strictly Outkast songs on that compilation.
Right.
I need 3. That's all I need. I just need 3.
Just give me that, bro. You know, give me one more. You and CeeLo. You know what I'm saying? Give me one more, man. You and Big Gipp.
Yeah.
Joe. Come on, man. That would suit me because when you think about it, again, even with the Fugees. Now, Pra's going to jail, but you know, we don't need him no way.
Yeah, you go there, you got treatment again.
Bruh, I just call it like it is, man. It's just some folks, you know, was add-ons as part of the group. You know, you got to convince me that Pras was a critical part of the Fugees.
He was in there for a reason. Where you think he was the money man behind all of it?
He had equipment. He had equipment, man. Because honestly, okay. What else did he do, man? What else did he do? You got one single by yourself in 30 years. You got one single. And the reason why that single is good is because of a member of the Wu-Tang Clan and a beautiful young lady that still look like she's 20.
Forget, man. Leave Memphis Bleak alone, man. Leave Bleak alone, man.
Don't get me started on that one either, okay?
Hey, man, as long as Wyclef good, he good. Leave that man alone, man.
Don't get me started on Bleak, man. Come on, man. You could have been king of the world. Jay writing all my rhymes. Come on, man.
Yeah, man. See, that's right. Let's wrap this thing up.
Jay write all my rhymes, man. And I can't do no better than this. You was the 5th member of La Familia, man. The 5th. Because Beanie Siegel and A Million was better than you.
Hey, don't sleep on A Million, man. She could flow.
Oh,
she could flow.
Look here. A Million, I thought, you know, now we probably got to dig and find what really happened. But once upon a time, I was like, oh, she finna take over the game. Everything she was on was a hit.
Yeah, she was there. She was there.
Oh yeah, she was damaged, boy. There used to be good Tuesday and Friday mornings.
Oh yeah,
listening to that 12 a.m. Get them up.
That's it.
That was it. Well, anyway, we want to thank y'all for listening to us again. This just us. This is what we do, man. This one has truly been all over the place, but it's been a good all over the place. I like where we at with this, man. We deep on this and getting some good stories off this, man.
But like people say, you know, I'm gonna twist it a little bit. There's a madness to our method. I put it like that.
It is.
That's the best way to put it. Ain't a method to the madness. There's a madness to the method.
It is.
We do. We make it work.
We do, and this is the thing. Yeah, we don't do anything quick because we're giving our opinions and it is what it is, but we diverge from it, you know. It's gonna get worse. I'm just gonna be honest. Because we got some things coming up.
We're gonna do one episode, we're gonna stay on track. It'll probably be about 15, 20 minutes. We're gonna do one.
I don't know what they're gonna be on because you know, we got NFL coming. We still got music to do. We got the show with the fellas. That is gonna be a left turn if nothing else, because it's gonna be some foolishness come out of that.
That's gonna be a drink champs episode right there.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much, because we, you know, we all know where we done been when we didn't listen to some of this stuff. So I mean, it probably gonna be some people. It's gonna be like that Freaknik documentary. They gonna be like, bro, don't talk about that. Don't talk about that. But nah, it'll be all good. You know, it's just like what it is.
Definitely.
Just like what it is. Laugh and joke what we do, and enjoy ourselves.
Of course, of course.
So until the next time, y'all be careful, be safe out there, enjoy your life, watch out, world crazy right now, you know, do the best you can to stay safe.
Mm-hmm. And
And
just spread love.
spread the love, man. That's all we doing. Y'all listen to us, y'all know how we are. You know, we about empowerment and enjoying ourselves. You know, we separated by 2 states right now, but if we was here with each other every week, it'd probably be some real dumb ridiculousness,
Mm-hmm.
you know, on a higher level than what it is coming through just doing this here like we do. But we got more coming. Appreciate y'all staying with us. You know, folks that we got a following. I'll say that. We got to follow it. You know, yeah, we ain't got 1,000,000 views, but we got to follow it. So somebody pay us some attention. Somebody think we entertaining.
Nothing else. Yeah, we got some foolishness going on. Of
With the
course.
foolishness that we have going on, somebody think we entertaining, man. So you know that's a good thing. So one love to everybody. Bruh, can't do nothing without you, man.
Same here. Same here.
All right. So we'll see y'all in a couple of weeks. And y'all
Till
enjoy.
next time.
All right. All right. Great show, man. Great show.
Of course. Of course.